That was my former student and friend Emma standing at the sign way high on the mountaintop in near Lauterbrunnen or Wangen, Switzerland. Hey, welcome to Travel Talk Tuesday tonight. It is March the 29th, 2022. And maybe as the lead-in video or lead-in photos let you know that tonight we're talking about Switzerland. And I've got a pot of fondue I'm working on, cheese fondue, and some fresh bread over here. We're doing a little roasty and roasted sausages with onion gravy as well. All that is typical Swiss meal, and especially in the cooler climates, whether you're there in March or April or so, it's still pretty cool, or September, October. About the only warm times in Switzerland are in the heat of the summer in June and July, part of August, and that's only in the valleys, not in the mountaintops. So tonight we're going to cover several sections of Switzerland, and I recall that looking back through my photos and my journals, it seems like the first time I ever arrived in Switzerland might have been 1992 or so. And that was on a trip sponsored by me with some of my students, which I just gathered up 6 or 8 of them. And we headed out and joined another group of teachers. So 4 or 5 teachers and 5, 6, 7, 8 students each. We all got on a big bus with a tour company and started rolling around Europe. I believe we began in Zurich and we ended up in Lucerne, Switzerland. And I was just wowed because I had never been out west either. And so I'd never been to the Rocky Mountains or anything else. So I really got a great introduction to the Alpine way of life, the Alpine flora and fauna, and the alpine snow on the top of the mountains in the middle of July. So I'm going to go ahead and run this video because I've got, probably 35 minutes worth of content. I'll stop at very little along the way, but I'll do a whole lot of talking. If you've got some questions, raise them on Facebook or chat right here if you're on Zoom, and we'll see if we can answer all of those. Hi, David McGuffin here from the Alps in Switzerland, up above a little village called Lauterbrunnen. I'm about halfway through my trip that I call the best of Germany, Austria, Switzerland, and France. I decided to come on up this afternoon, take in the views and get a little exercise in the mountains. Fantastic little hike. So it's almost 7:30 here up in the village of Moritz. Man, the mountains are just beautiful with the sun beginning to set. And I'm actually going to take the last train and lift back down to the valley. I've actually never done this little train ride because I've always walked and hiked. So the final leg of our journey back to Lauterbrunnen is down to the valley. This is from a village up high in the mountains called Alps, with David McGuffin. And we're going back down to the valley, to the Lauterbrunnen Valley. Hi, David McGuffin here from my favorite destination in Switzerland. Join me as we take a 60-second look around the Lauterbrunnen Valley. Boy, 2014 in May I filmed this. Look how poor the video quality was back then. But it's hard to mess up Switzerland. As you can see, the little grocery store in Lauterbrunnen, waterfall coming down the mountain, the cheese shop there, our hotel, and then looking up into the direction. Okay, that's it. I'm at the bottom of the town. So when you're in the Lauterbrunnen Valley, head up into the mountains, explore. Your adventure starts right here with David McGuffin's Exploring. Now we're leaving Lauterbrunnen right now and going over to an area. Lauterbrunnen is here. And then we're going over to an area just a little bit to the northeast called Lucerne. And Lucerne is probably the largest tourist city in Switzerland because it happens to be on the route directly from France and Germany down to Italy. This is a lion monument there in Lucerne, and that lion monument was hewn into the rock around 1820, and it is supposed to be representative, let me read this, of the revolutionary Swiss guards who were killed in battle during the French Revolution. This is Lucerne, a famous bridge that was built there. It's the longest covered bridge and oldest covered bridge in Europe. This is Charlotte and I in front of that lion monument. Again, a close-up of the lion monument. If you go to Lucerne, no matter where you go, what time you go or when you go, you walk to that lion monument. It's on Lake Lucerne, and it's a beautiful lake with two mountains, Mount Pilatus and Mount Titulus as well, right there surrounding Lucerne. This is the first time I ever went to Switzerland in 1994. We stayed in this little hotel outside of town, and that's me up on the top of Mount Pilatus, 1994. Great views up there. It was amazing. Now, Zurich is up in the top corner. It's the bigger city. You may recall I told you about that in Christmas time as well. But Zurich is a wonderful city on a lake there as well, a beautiful town. And this I filmed back in December when we were through Zurich. Hey, David McGuffin here. I am in Zurich, Switzerland, inside the main train station, the Bahnhof. And this is a Swarovski Christmas tree studded with thousands and thousands and tens of thousands crystals from the famous crystal maker Swarovski. I got my fondue pot on going here. I hadn't used it in 20 years. So I didn't know how to put together. Sterno's going, got a little garlic sauteing in there. I'll take the garlic out in just a few minutes as soon as it becomes a little fragrant. This is the main train station here in Zurich at Christmas time. And we had I think I share with you in just a moment, we had a little difficulty dining here.
So I'm walking down this very beautiful street in Zurich, Switzerland. Everything's decked out for the Christmas markets. Stores are wide open, but it appears that we have to have a QRC or barcode certificate of vaccination or COVID-free in order to get into restaurants or anywhere else. I've tried a couple of restaurants and that's the rules. So from what I understand right now, we have to go back to a pharmacy, maybe at the train station, and show our CDC cards, and they transfer them over to a barcode. Or a couple of people are wondering where to watch this on Facebook. It's facebook.com/exploring Europe, all run together. QR code, I don't know, but it looks like we may not be getting dinner anywhere here tonight. And if that's the case, we're going to be heading out of Switzerland tomorrow. So I'll keep you updated.
Which we did.
It's always an adventure, especially in these COVID times. But Zurich is a really nice city. Nothing against them. It's just how it is traveling in the pandemic times. Hey, your adventure starts right here with David McGuffin's Exploring Europe. We'll catch you later. We were able to go into this place called Federal near the train station, or in the train station. We got this roasty right here, which is what I'm preparing on the stove behind me. This is the first stages of it. It's a little bit of we might know it as shredded hash brown potatoes, onions, bound together with egg, salt and pepper. And so I'm cooking it on the bottom right now, and then I'm gonna put it in the oven to finish off the top. And we'll use that with some fresh
Swiss sausage, bratwurst, German sausage, and some brown onion gravy. Okay, now we're leaving there and we're going to St. Moritz down in the bottom right-hand corner. It's just about 30 miles inside the border.
We're up
of
in the
Italy.
Alps. We're driving down this very, very crooked road from St. Moritz down to Chiave into Italy. And you can see probably going beside me, this looks like Christmas. There's snow everywhere. We were up over 6,000 feet. The temperature this morning was, what was it, like 8 degrees? 4 degrees. It was very, very chilly, but it was just a beautiful, pristine place to go and to stay overnight. St. Moritz is a resort town and was just beautiful. Look out here in front of us. We're driving down this road. It's a little bit of the scenery that we have. Here's my GPS unit too that we've just purchased. It seems to be helping us out a lot too. But this is going down into Italy. There's an old church right there. So anyway, just to give you a little perception of what this adventure is like for Charlotte and I. A little town that we're coming into. Every one of them have a church and a bell tower, and you can see that the snow is piled up. I think it just snowed 2 nights ago, so it's piled up, and they do a very good job of clearing the road. But it's very interesting the way this looks here.
Look, it goes right through.
Hey, we made it down back to Lake Como, which is where we are now. We're on a ferry. Behind me is the town of Verona, where we stayed a couple of nights ago. And if you look back in this direction here, you can see the Alps. And that's the direction we drove down from St. Moritz this morning. And we're going back around in this direction to the tip of the lake here to the town of Bellagio. And we'll see that in a few minutes. Okay, so we've made it to our hotel in Bellagio, and this is the Hotel Bellagio, and we've got a double bed, pretty nice room here. The most fantastic thing is that we've got a view of the lake right out through here, and it's not a bad deal either. About 90 euros what we're paying for this. So so far this is the best hotel we've stayed at in the last 3 nights. So we're gonna go get some pizza or something for lunch.
So a little taste of alpine northern Italy as well. Now here's St. Moritz. We drove up there and found it was beautiful, especially for us Floridians, because we don't see snow too often. So we love it to get into it and get out of it. But again, as Charlotte said, it was 4 degrees, very, very cold. And we found that it was very expensive to be there because it was a resort town for the rich and famous. And it's one of the terminus routes of the Bernina Express, which is one of the scenic trains that goes through Switzerland as well. But a beautiful place. We enjoyed dinner there and one night in the hotel, saw the Christmas lights, and just experienced it. But that's probably the first and the last time that we will go to St. Moritz because we didn't ski at that point, so maybe I should try it in the summertime as well. But got some great views here. This was in Thanksgiving, so right before the 25th of December, 25th of November, and a few years back. Okay, Mühlhorn is a scenic overlook that we visit when we travel on our Germany, Austria, and Switzerland tour. And this is Gino and John taking photos of the waterfalls across this lake. It is pristine. This is back in 2013. So again, sorry, the video quality isn't great, but you can just kind of get an idea of how beautiful this is right here. Lucerne is another scenic viewpoint, and we stop here. This is between Lucerne and Interlaken, where we're going to the Lauterbrunnen Valley. And we always stop and get this a vantage point here with all our groups. A beautiful place. Okay, so coming up next is June 1997. I took the Ridgeview Band and we did a performance tour beginning in Paris. We ended up in Switzerland here for a few days and just had a great time. This is Jennifer and my daughter Jamie and Bessie the cow. And looked like a little calf there. We're hiking up there. This is the town of Wilderswil. And Mr. Chemley's there taking a photo of us, the band performing for the students there. And the local town all came to watch us perform and hear us perform American music. Then they took us across the street and gave us lemonade. This is my Aunt Hilda. She was with us on the tour as well. And this is up in the Alps. We went up to the very top of the Schildhorn and hiked down a bit, and we found this snowbank. Everybody pulled out their ponchos and slid down the snowbanks like crazy. This is Charlotte and I loving the moment. The photo before that was my mother. Oh, here's my mother and I as well. She was on the tour as well. That's my mom. She was an avid hiker back in the day. Here's a few extra photos of all the kids sliding down on their ponchos, piling up at the end. Everybody had a blast doing that. You know, we don't see snow very often in Florida, so it was cool. I think that might be Jamie. She had a Gap sweatshirt on. I think Brian might have had the yellow poncho, who knows. This is the next day. We went over to Grindelwald and went up to a glacier. And this group of us hiked up there and hiked back down. We had a great time. And that glacier has receded about a half a mile since that time in 1997. There I am. Look at there. That is just a beautiful backdrop. There's most of the group. In this region, there's three mountains, the Monk, the Eiger, and the Jungfrau. And they're dominant all over the place. There was Brian with the selfie before selfies were famous. There's some of the group again. I think that's the glacier is right down there behind us. And then in June 2000, I took my band back again, and we went back to the same area, another concert venue. And this time we hiked up the other way around the area of Lauterbrunnen up in the village of Mürren. That's Buddy, Stephen, and Mike, I think. Charlotte and I sitting there enjoying the clouds rolling in. This is the Schildhorn. One of the James Bond movies was filmed at this area as well. That's me and Mike right there on the top of the Schildhorn. And that's my whole family, Brian, Jamie, me, and Charlotte. And Jamie, Mike, Buddy, and Stephen. And Jamie and I, my daughter. This is in 2000. I can name every one of those people too, but they're going by too quickly. Mandy and Kyle and Brian and Jennifer, and here we go, the top of the Schildhorn. It's pretty amazing. These are great memories. These are photos that I pulled out and scanned yesterday. This is Charlotte and Susan McInerney. There was the hotel had a log on it, and they had a contest of who could stay on that rolling log longer than the other. This is the Walker family, Patty Walker. This is our principal, Tippy Roberts, there, always with her camera. And this is a group of the kids on the bus as we're probably heading out of Switzerland, going to Rome. If you've never been on a band bus, it's something different. Always a lot of shenanigans going on. This is on that glacier field that I was talking about that we went to the second day and hiked up to. You can see it right there in the background.
Hi,
glacier.
I'm David McGuffin, and we're on a
March
trail
of
here high in the
2007.
Swiss Alps exploring Europe. Come with me on a travel adventure as we share the fun and excitement of being here in Switzerland.
So this little train goes from a place called Winterweg, Grushalp to Murren. And I was on that train on the very first clip of this session tonight, but I very seldom ride it. I usually walk. And this is going into the town of Murren, M-U-R-R-E-N. It is a kind of a resort town. Got some really, really nice fancy hotels, mostly used for the winter time, for ski resorts, but you can see how it drops off, the cliff drops off right away. This is Main Street in Murren. I just remembered that there's another little town down the way called Himmelwald, and it is much more quaint than this. And it's down the hill about 1,000 feet below this. And it's a community of farmers. This is a Jungfrau means a young lady. So this is a Jungfrau range here. This cable car is coming up from the valley down near Lauterbrunnen, coming up to Murren. Looking across those beautiful mountain peaks. This is another Ridgeview band trip where I was the band director in 2008. We were up on the other side of the mountain going to Wengen, Mannlichen, and Kleine Scheidegg. Had a lot of fun in the snow as well. You can see we're all in shorts, but there's some snow banks, and it was a wonderful experience. I learned to travel to Switzerland with my band kids. There's the mountains there in the background with Schindelin and me sitting there. Here's George and I on this trip, acting crazy. Emma and Caroline, we just had a reunion dinner with them. I think they're the class of 2008 or 9, and they were there with us. And this is Trummelbach Falls, I believe, right there in Lauterbrunnen. This is going down to Grushalp, way up high, and you can see the mountains there in the background. That's the monk, the young lady, and the old ogre, Iger.
Is that snow right there?
So this little girl, Annette from Florida, wants to know if that
On the
white
ground?
stuff is snow.
Yeah.
Cold. Ow, cold.
Okay.
Scusi.
I don't know why the guys, we hadn't even been to Italy yet, and he's saying scusi on this tour.
Hey, today we're in the Lauterbrunnen Valley in Switzerland. And we're up here, you have the mountains behind me are the Monk and the Eiger and the Jungfrau. It's a beautiful day. We've got about 25 people up here. We've come up to the very top of the hills on the Mannlichen lift. And so we got a whole day of hiking. And my friends here love playing with snow because they've never been in snow before. But anyway, you would think they were from Florida or something, but it's okay. So we're really having a blast. I have no ammunition, so let me go get some real quick.
I can make a giant one and you can help whoever gets to do it at you.
When I say that was in 2008, I could move a lot quicker back then than I do now, I can tell you that.
You hit the mama. We're getting it. Get him.
Here, let me see if I can hit Miss Drury. Okay? So anyway, we're having tons of fun in Switzerland. The air is really thin here.
Make another snowman.
Wow, isn't that beautiful? There's a trail we hiked down to Kleinscheinig and then back down to Wengen. Here I am writing in my journal. Wow, what a place to write in your journal. There's Emma with the sign pointing to where we're going to next. This is on the lift back down to town. This is another group. I see my friend, Mr. Jason Duckett there. So it looks like we're going up to the Schilthorn. And here we are on that little train again that I was on at the very beginning. This is in 2013, it appears. And a little bit better quality video. But that train connects seamlessly with that cable car that comes up. You get off the cable car, get onto the train. If you have luggage, you put it in the back thing, and then you go on down to the next village. This is Charlotte and I. We took a hike up, going way up high above these two villages that I've been talking about, above Wengen, and just had a wonderful day back a few years back with the weather just perfect.
Hey, this is David McGuffin, high above the village of Winterweg in the Swiss Alps. So we're in a little meadow here. Looks like some people are sunbathing back here behind us as well. The place we've hiked up to about an hour and a half above Lauterbrunnen. What a great time. A little meadow, plenty of flowers, like a microcosm here of fauna and flora. From Switzerland, your adventure begins here with David McGuffin's Exploring Europe. All right, cut it. It's got to be in less than that.
The mountain stream and the trails are blazed. Each trail has a different color. That one's white, two whites with a red in the middle. And there's those signposts all over the place as well. There's a little family having a picnic in the field of flowers. And here are the three mountains, the Eiger, the Monk, and the Jungfrau, which my thing is covering up. We made it to this place and we had lunch. What a view from the tables, picnic tables. It's also just cooked over an open fire. A nice Swiss beer and a roasty. Not a better way to experience. Look at that. There's the Jungfrau range. Then it was all downhill all the way, which in some respects is worse than going uphill. It's rough on your thighs and shins.
Hi, David
Now I'm
McGuffin
back in
here from
town.
my favorite destination in Switzerland. Join me as we take a 60-second look around the Lauterbrunnen Valley.
Now this is just the town here. The main street. There's a little cafe, bar, washing machine area. Our hotel is the last building you see on the left. There it is, Hotel Oberlin, where we stay quite frequently. I think this video was earlier. There's a little cheese shop, waterfall, and grocery store is right next door. The Coop, the co-op, where you can go buy all your provisions.
Okay, that's it. I'm at the bottom of town. So When you're in the Lauterbrunnen Valley, head up into the mountains, explore. Your adventure starts right here with David McGuffin's Exploring Europe. Hi, David McGuffin here from the Alps in Switzerland.
2015,
Up above a little village called Lauterbrunnen.
I think this is a
Berner
typo,
Oberland.
2016, I think.
Looking behind me, take out for a little afternoon stroll. 3 huge glacial mountains in the background. The Jungfrau, the Monk, and the Eiger. Train going past in the distance. It's just me and the trail right now. Your adventure starts right here with David McGuffin's Exploring Europe.
So you can see, I've got a few more destinations that we're going to look at, but this place, the Lauterbrunnen Valley, is my favorite in all of Switzerland. You can go to Zurich, a big town. You can go to Lucerne, the big tourist town. You can go to Interlaken, the rich and famous town that's just about 20 miles to the north. But this little valley is a valley of for skiing in the winter. Farmers all over the place, tending their fields, tending their cows, milking every morning, making Alp cheese or cheese from the Alps. And just a wonderful place to go, and we love it. We've been there time and time and time again. It's the middle destination on my Germany, Austria, and Switzerland tour now. So that particular tour begins in Vienna, Austria for a couple of days. We visit Salzburg for a couple of days. And then from Salzburg, we travel over to Bavaria, to the area of Mad King Ludwig's castle called Neuschwanstein. We're there one night in the Tyrol area of Austria. And then we head down through the country of Liechtenstein with a lunch stop in the small little capital city of Vaduz. And then onward to the Lauterbrunnen Valley here in Switzerland for 2 days. The first day, we just kind of learn the town a little bit. The second day, you've got totally free to do all these adventures, whether it be riding the train, the cable car and lifts, doing hiking or whatever. Is totally up to you because we have no plans, no activities the second day at all. And then from there, we leave Switzerland, go north, and we visit Rothenburg, Germany for 2 nights. And that's just a fabulous little fairy tale town. And then finally, we end up in Munich, Germany to cap off the tour for 2 nights. Just to give a great Bavarian experience. Now, saying all of that, I may just do a little taste of my Germany, Austria, and Switzerland tour next week because I'm going to be out of the country next week. So I'll tell you about that in a little bit as well. Let this run because there's one other important destination I want to talk to you about, and a new tour, new activity that I'm kind of thinking about.
Hey, I'm about
adding to
halfway
our
through my trip that I
lineup
call
of
the best
tours.
of Germany, Austria, Switzerland, and France. So we had the whole day today, perfect weather here in the Lauterbrunnen Valley. I squandered away the morning doing some clothes and wash, and then decided to come on up this afternoon, take in the views and get a little exercise in the mountains. A fantastic place to visit here because everything is connected by trains and trails and lifts and cog railways and buses. So you can do as little or much walking as you want to do. As you can tell, I'm laboring uphill. Hey, listen, your adventure starts right here with David McGuffin's Exploring Europe.
So you can see there's not just cow pastures with cows. There's huge stands of conifers and fir trees.
Open up to fantastic vistas of the mountains beyond, but yet offer a little shade and a cool breeze on a hot summer day. So it's almost 7:30 here up in the village of Moritz. Tried something a little bit different because I didn't come up here until the afternoon. I knew the weather's going to be great, and so I held off my travels to the afternoon, and I'm actually going to take the last train and lift back down to the valley in Lauterbrunnen. Fantastic little hike. Man, the mountains are just beautiful with the sun beginning to set. It's fantastic here in the Swiss Alps.
So let me stop it here just a second because I want to go to the region known as Chamonix. Now, Chamonix is not in Switzerland. It's just right across the border into France, but it sits on where Switzerland, France, and Italy all come together. And this region here, right here, so the Switzerland's here. You see France is here and Italy is here. And right in the middle of it is Mont Blanc, the White Mountain, one of the largest peaks in the Swiss Alps. And so let me let this run just a minute, show you a little bit about Chamonix, and I'll continue talking as this goes. So Chamonix, you can see how it fits in with Italy down here in France up in the top left-hand corner. And this is Chamonix. These are, gosh, they're photos from 2001. And I can't believe I don't have more, but I couldn't round them up. So this is us in Chamonix on one of my trips as well. You can see we're up at a place called, I'm looking at Mont Blanc on a place called there's Mont Blanc behind me, the Aiguille de Midi. And I'll show you, this is Mont Blanc from driving in from France. You can see it dominates the skyline, and this is from the overlook Aiguille de Midi. We took a cable car up there, and just unbelievable looking down into the valley. Now, I'll stop it here because next year, we're thinking about doing what's called the Tour de Mont Blanc, coming in maybe June of 2023. And this is not an adventure for the faint of heart or for those who don't want to do any walking, because basically it's 6 to 8 nights or days of walking about 10 miles a day around Mont Blanc. And you can see Mont Blanc is here. And it begins near Chamonix, and you walk to here about 8 to 10 miles a day, stay in an alpine mountain hut, another 8 to 10 miles, another 8 to 10 miles, buses up to here, another 8 miles, bus up to here, another 8 miles, and then finally you're walking on this grand balcony overlooking Mont Blanc back to Chamonix. Now, we're thinking about doing that and making a tour of that for those of you who may be interested. We already have a group of 6, 8, 10 people that are been asking me to put together something like that. So I think Charlotte and I are going to get into shape and be able and try to do that. And but the details will come later about that. We'd love to have you think about it and join it. Text me or email me if you might be interested in. It would be great. These are some video or some photos of folks who have done this Mont Blanc route in the past. And these little chalets are kind of like the place we had that sausage lunch, except that you can sleep overnight in them. There's another little chalet up in the mountain hut as well. So you finish up around 3 or so in the afternoon, and you have all afternoon and evening to enjoy the vistas and recoup from your walk. Hi, I'm David McGuffin, and this morning I'm in Switzerland. We're going to hop on this train right here and take a scenic train ride from Interlaken to Montreux, Switzerland. direction from Interlaken near the Lauterbrunnen Valley to Montreux on the lake, on Lake Geneva. This was in the height of summer, in the middle of June, I do believe, and pretty amazing. The train has a open top, but a glass roof that you can see all up the peaks and everything above you. There's the lake coming into it. Well, I'm about at the end of my journey, coming into Montreux. I've just taken about a 3-hour ride through the mountains and the Alps of Switzerland on the Golden Pass scenic train ride. Hope you enjoyed the experience. Okay, well, that wraps it up for the night. I am going to be in Italy this time next week. And so we'll still have Travel Talk Tuesday. And I'm not quite sure what my topic is going to be. It was going to be about being in Orvieto, but I think I may postpone that a week just because I will be arriving in Orvieto 1 week from the day. We'll do something next week for Travel Talk Tuesday, I can assure you. We'll be in Dallas over the weekend at the Travel Adventure Show. If you're there, join us at Dallas Market Hall. We'd love to see you there. And until then, we'll see you next week on Travel Talk Tuesday. Bye-bye.